When I first started making Dead Beyond, the original vision was actually very different from what the game is becoming today. At the beginning, I wanted to make a slow psychological horror game. You know, the type of game where you walk through dark corridors, hear weird noises in the distance, and constantly feel uncomfortable without fully understanding what's happening around you. I love those games. They leave a strong atmosphere in your mind. But while I was developing the game, something started bothering me. I realized that even though the horror atmosphere was cool, I personally wasn't having enough fun while playing my own game. And I think that's one of the most important things as a game developer. If you're not excited to replay your own game over and over again during development, then players probably won't feel excited either. So I started experimenting. I added a basic zombie enemy first. Then I added weapons. Then I added more aggressive encounters. And suddenly, the entire feeling of the game changed. Instead of slowly walking around waiting for something scary to happen, now I was actively surviving, shooting zombies, dodging attacks, managing resources, solving puzzles while under pressure. And honestly, the gameplay instantly became way more addictive. That was the moment where I decided to fully shift Dead Beyond from a pure psychological horror game into a more action-oriented zombie shooter experience. But I didn't want it to become just another mindless shooter either. The main goal became creating a game that gives players that dopamine rush of blasting through zombies while still keeping the tension and mystery alive through exploration and puzzle solving. Because for me, the best horror games are the ones that constantly switch emotions. 1 second you feel powerful because you just destroyed a group of enemies with a shotgun, and then 5 minutes later, you're standing alone in a dark room trying to figure out a puzzle while hearing something move behind the cells. Walls. That contrast is what makes horror memorable. And honestly, I think action can actually improve horror when it's done correctly. If players are scared all the time, eventually they get used to it. But if you give them moments of empowerment, moments where they feel strong and confident, then suddenly taking that feeling away becomes even more effective. So in Dead Beyond, I started designing the game around that balance. You'll have intense combat moments where zombies rush toward you from multiple directions. Then, after the action cools down, the game slows back down into exploration and environmental storytelling. And speaking of environmental storytelling, level design became one of the biggest focuses during development. This is something I care about a lot. I didn't want levels that just felt like video game arenas connected together randomly. I wanted every location to actually make sense as a real place. For example, if the player enters an abandoned facility, I ask myself, how would this place realistically function before the outbreak happened? Where are the offices? Where are the storage rooms? How do workers move through the building? Why does this hallway exist? What happened here during the collapse? I started treating every level almost like its own character in the story. Because in many horror games, the environment itself tells the narrative better than dialogue ever could. A broken barricade can tell you there was a failed last stand. Blood trails can hint at where survivors tried to escape. Emergency lights and locked doors can instantly create tension without saying a single word. So instead of overloading the player with cutscenes, I wanted the levels themselves to tell the story naturally. Honestly, the level design became the main storytelling system of the game. Every room has a purpose. Every environment tries to communicate something. Even the pacing of corridors and combat encounters was designed carefully to control tension. And this is where shifting toward action actually helped the game even more. Because now the environments also needed to support gameplay flow. When designing levels, I started thinking about movement constantly. Can the player escape if they get cornered? Are there alternate paths? Can zombies surprise the player from different angles? Does the combat space feel dynamic? Can puzzle areas still feel dangerous? I wanted players to feel like they were surviving inside real locations, not just moving through scripted shooting galleries. Another big reason I moved away from psychological-only horror is replayability. Action games naturally create more replay value because the gameplay itself is fun moment to moment. Players remember cool encounters. They remember surviving with low ammo. They remember panic situations. They remember crazy zombie fights. And as a developer, those are the moments I love watching on YouTube or Twitch. I want players to create stories while they play. Like, bro, I barely survived this section. I had 1 bullet left. I didn't even see that zombie coming. I solved the puzzle while getting chased. Those emergent gameplay moments are something I really wanted Dead Beyond to have. And don't get me wrong, the psychological horror elements are still there. The atmosphere is still dark. The environments are still creepy. There are still unsettling moments and mysterious parts of the story. But now, those elements work together with the gameplay instead of replacing it. I think the game finally found its identity once I accepted that I wanted players to have fun first, not just fear. Because at the end of the day, horror games are still games. And if the core gameplay loop feels satisfying, players stay immersed much longer. Especially nowadays, where attention spans are shorter and players want constant engagement, I think combining horror, action, exploration, and puzzles creates a much stronger experience overall. Also, from a development perspective, this shift actually motivated me more creatively. Once I started focusing on action horror, I became way more excited designing enemies, combat encounters, weapons, and interactive environments. It opened up so many possibilities. Now I can create tense survival situations, cinematic zombie attacks, environmental hazards, puzzle mechanics, mixed with combat, and it makes the entire project feel more alive. So honestly, I think changing direction was the best decision for Dead Beyond. Sometimes, as developers, we get attached to our original vision too hard. But game development is all about evolution. The game starts telling you what it wants to become. And for me, Dead Beyond wanted to become a brutal, atmospheric, puzzle-filled zombie survival experience instead of a slow, psychological, walking horror game. And I'm really happy I listened to that instinct. Because now when I play the game, I actually feel excited. I feel tension. I feel adrenaline. I feel curiosity while exploring. And most importantly, I'm having fun. And if I'm having fun while making it, hopefully players will have fun playing it too. So yeah, that's basically why the direction of Dead Beyond changed over time. Let me know what you guys think about action horror games versus psychological horror games. Which style do you personally enjoy more? And as always, thanks for following the development journey of Dead Beyond. There's still a lot more coming soon. And before I wrap this devlog up, I just want to say thank you for watching and following the journey of Dead Beyond. This game is really shaping up step by step, and I'm putting a lot of passion into making sure it becomes something fun, intense, and memorable. If you enjoyed this devlog and want to see more updates, behind-the-scenes development, and future gameplay reveals, then please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next update. It really helps support the development and keeps me motivated to push the game even further. See you in the next devlog.